Welcome back to the Becoming Spiritual YouTube channel. I am your host Baba, and today we're going to be speaking about connecting with deities. So as I have said, deities are very important because your particular chart ruler will be connected to a variety of deities. Sometimes multiple planets are connected to one deity. So the idea is to find a deity connected to that particular planet. Say you are a Cancer ascendant, for example. There are a variety of gods, right? Um, that are connected to this. For example, you may have Hecate, you may have Artemis, you may have Luna, Diana. You may have a variety of goddesses or gods that are connected with this particular planet. The idea is to find one that resonates strongly with you and then seek to communicate with it. Right? Now, what you can do to start off, and this is very good if you can get some incense. Incense is very good because it creates an atmosphere for energy to manifest. So say you are a moon person, for example, you can probably pick out some sandalwood or whatever other correspondences you find in terms of incense that corresponds to that planet, and then you can use that when you're going to do your communication. So the communication, the preliminary or the main communication is called an invocation. And what this really you use to do this is called an N, and a sigil. Now, not all goddesses or gods will have sigils, but most, if not all, will have N's, right? ENNS. The idea is to utilize the N. It's a chant, for example, right? And that you repeat, and it calls for that particular energy. Right, if you have a sigil, you can focus on it in a Gnostic state and you will start to see it vibrating in your spiritual eye, and then you know when you feel the energy comes forth that is what's happening. You may also use a tea light candle or a regular candle within that, so that the energy has something to really feed off of, right, apart from the incense. So this is now getting you started in your spiritual work, but in the basic steps. Right? So the idea is that you need to connect with the deity that resonates with you the strongest. Do your research, and really ask yourself as well when you're in a meditative state and see what comes to your mind about the deities, right? And you connect with this, you call forth the energy, you speak to it, ask it what you want to ask it, listen within your thoughts, so ensure that your mind is empty, that you can hear it, because the voice will normally be different, but it can be through your own voice as well within your mind. Listen to what it says, but ensure that you are in a meditative state so your mind is empty when you're going to do this, right? And then ask what you want to ask, you understand? And then you continue, do what you're doing, but always do this respectfully. Because remember that a lot of these entities are very powerful. And you don't want to piss off an entity. Right? Because then you start to notice, you start to have probably a string of bad luck. You don't really want that. Right? So the idea is that you speak respectfully as you would to a person. And you also give what is called a license to depart. So you thank the energy for coming forth, and you can either ask it to continue to remain, or you can ask it to go back from where forth it came when you're finished. But the idea is to actually do that, right? So ensure that you are respectful and that this energy you're communing, right? You're definitely communing and ensuring that this you're connecting, right? And as you build this relationship, you can do your research to probably create a small space. It can be anything that you honor this particular energy. Some people use shoe boxes, some people actually have a physical, some people use a stool, some people, but they cleanse this with probably, something that is very cleansing. They might use incense, they wipe it with something to ensure that it's free of any you know, other energies, and they dedicate that space to their particular deity or their workings that you're going to do. Some people can use a table. It all depends on what you have available and how open you are about your work, right? Because if you're living with people, then you may want to keep your stuff secret, right? If they're not more inclined to that line of thought and practice. So this is where the exciting stuff begins, guys. There's so many things that we are going to really be talking about, but still be cautious. Don't go for it and do this carelessly. You understand? Get into an agnostic state where your mind is empty, and find the end for the particular deity and the sigil. Write it on parchment or brown paper bag after it's cleansed, right, with incense. And you focus on it, you do the end, call for it, you'll be able to feel the shift or the change when that is present. And you ask your questions, you do your communion, your communication, and then that is how you start communion with deities. So you guys, we have a lot more to speak about going forward, but definitely do this, right, to begin your practice. And remember, whatever you're going to be using, you cleanse it with some incense. You can buy the stick incense. If you have a charcoal burner, you can use that instead. It's all up to you. Don't think that there is any set way to do something, but always remain respectful. And always try to ensure that anything that you're going to use within these form of practices is cleansed, right? Once it's for a more positive working, like what we're speaking about. So anyhow, guys, thank you guys for coming forward. For coming forth and actually listening to this lecture. Definitely hit the bell if you guys, so you guys can be notified as to when I post another video. Hit the subscribe button as well, and certainly ensure that you check out my book on Amazon, Becoming Spiritual: A Comprehensive Guide to Finding Yourself, and definitely stay tuned. So with peace and gratitude, guys, take care